Hello and welcome, miner, to the Deep Rock Galactic quarters. I've been assigned to be your personal guide, and by the contract you have signed, I take no responsibility if something goes wrong with you. That's your problem. I'm glad you've joined your dwarven ancestors. For centuries, our predecessors used to mine and inhale them minerals, exterminate them large spiders, drink themselves to death, and we proudly follow the good old traditions. You'll be launched into the deepest pits of a planet we colonized. Like every proud democratic nation in the world, we exploit the resources of the planet and neutralize the native population. Just as the founding fathers intended. On your expedition you'll be joined by 3 other dwarfs, with which you have to cooperate if you wish to live. Of course, you can play alone or prevent your teammates from coming home. Let me show you the ways of classes and weaponry. There are 4 classes, each with a different purpose. The Drewer is your typical schizophrenic, pyromaniacal, unhinged character, one who either digs your escape or digs your grave. You have the general selection of a flamethrower, freezer, or exterminator. Of course, you have the goofy, silly C4, the pest eradicator, or the team annihilator. But be careful how you treat a Drewer, because you can go home safe, or be left alone with a satchel charger under your feet. The engineer is imagined as the safety guy in your team, the one who ensures you don't horrifically die to fall damage, that is, if he wishes. The only important primary is the shotgun he has, because, tell me, what the fuck is this? You suck at aiming or something? Simply get better, noob. But his secondary selection is quite good, from lasers to big explosions. Besides making platforms, he can build sentries or distract enemies with a Fortnite dance. The gunner holds the means of destruction. He has a minigun, an explosive minigun, and a missile launcher. He's the one who has to protect his team. You're downed and being molested by a bunch of spiders? No worries, bro. Here, have a shield. He has a zipline too, which is, well, quite a fast mobility scooter. But don't worry, if you aim it at a certain degree, you gain a slight speed boost. The scout is just like a father about to have a child, gone and not to be seen, only to arrive out of nowhere and remind you how you're his greatest mistake. Do not expect a scout to be near his team. What you should expect, in fact, is him to be in the other side of the map, dying to fall damage. And I shall not agree nor deny that I have done the same thing. But of all weapons, the scout has a certain one which brings one man to a climax. The M1000 Classic. The sound is just... God bless, goddamn. The maps in the game are randomly generated. They vary from big rocky biomes to crystal caverns, and from big deserts to wood caves with these cute things. My personal favorite is the desert, only because it takes 1 hit to mine the land. You have the generous quantity of missions to choose from, and the game always has contracts for you, which award you with sweet cosmetics and large sacks of gold and resources. In mining expedition, you have to mine this blue material called morkite, but let me tell you something. It's meth. But don't tell management I told you that. And for some reason this is the only mission where people, once they collect the wanted amount of morkite, they decide to leave, leaving one part of the map unexplored. And I must say, get the fuck back. Are you aware you're leaving potential minerals unmined in the cave? Do you know how much XP, gold or minerals you're missing out? If you ain't mining it all, I'm going to serve you as a meal to the natives. Of course, when you complete the first objective, you have the second one, and it has to be completed. Why, you may ask? Dumb question! Fulfilling the need of greed. Egg hunt is where you kidnap the children of the aliens. When you hear that noise, that means they're not happy, and they want to kill you, which in return, you pull up your gun and by friendly means, exterminate their population. On-site refining is the extraction of liquid morkite. This is where you're going to show your ingenuity or your skills in building a nice and fun roller coaster. In salvage operation, you have to collect the remains of your colleagues. Well, only the robots. The corpses are nowhere to be found. Point extraction. Here you have to search for a big blue crystal and deposit it in the temporary base. Sadly, Molly is gone, and you cannot dump your fat load in her. Escort duty. Now what you're supposed to do is follow and protect the drill dozer, then review it every 5 minutes, and fight waves of enemies until the drill dozer breaks the Omoron shell through penetration. Or, if your driller is a mastermind schizo-Vietnamese tunnel maker, you go into every cave sector, mine it all, go to the Omoron shell, mine everything around it, then return to your drill dozer and start the mission. But when you've gotten the core of the big ball, the The drill dozer will explode and the head on it, which you can pet during the ride, will fly away, damaged and full of fear, at the brink of death. And here is where your moral ground stands. You're not forced by anyone, you're not going to get imprisoned nor punished by anyone. It does not award you with anything if you get Doretta's head with you, but it's the objectively right thing to do. You must return Doretta's head out of the kindness of your heart. You must return it because it's the correct thing to do, and one who refuses, neglects, or is unable to bring Doretta is no better than an animal, an absolute and brutal savage who can only be made to do what is right by threatening them with the law and the force that stands behind it. Doretta's head is what determines whether a person is a good or a bad member of society. Think again before you decide to live. The poor, hurt, and broken Doretta. Elimination! Here you have to go to these big eggs, but before you shoot them, you have to set up your defenses because you have to fight these bosses and you need a clear terrain and teamwork. Now teamwork. Cooperating with your team is top priority if you want to get out alive. In Deep Rock we have developed the means of communication. When someone says R, it means ready to start the objective or go home. If a fellow dwarf says rock and stone, you're obliged to return it. There is no other choice. If you're an engineer and a teammate marks a mineral out of reach, it means you need to place a platform, and for the scout his job to grapple there and mine it. If there lost equipment on the way, the driller has to dig there and share the spoils of war. When you're out of ammo, you can call a resupply pod. That is if you have the needed nitro. There will be 4 resupplies, 1 for each member. But if you're in a very dire situation, press the enter key and politely ask if you can double dip. But the best way of teamwork is in what way you're going to make your fellow dwarfs drunk. How many drinks are you willing to buy for them? And would you sacrifice a red flower for the special drink which gives your team benefits? The answer is yes. A dwarf has to drink himself to oblivion before he embarks on a mission. Either way he will be better off dead. Unlike some games and their predatory systems, the Deep Rock Galactic team takes care of their community. It brings free updates with tons of content, and the only paid thing in the game is cosmetics to help the developers. Otherwise everything else is free. The battle pass is completely free with an expansive cosmetic tree. All of the cosmetics in the game you earn through your gameplay, buy with gold earned from mining or craft with minerals. We're on season 4 right now, and I'm going to talk about all of the seasons which add a ton of new content. Season 1 introduces us to our new rival, who dares to get its dirty hands on our territory, and we are here to teach him a lesson that we do not share our claims. The update adds a new mission called Industrial Sabotage, where we have to deactivate 2 machines and then destroy the massive triangle and steal its core. There are a bunch of new robot enemies and turrets, and the best part is that you can hack one of the enemy drones to be yours. Season 2 is the escalation of the rival powers. They've sent a large machine which impersonates one of our fellow dwarves and lures us into our imminent death. It adds a new random event into the game. Season 3 adds infected spiders, because there was an outbreak in the planet by some mysterious meteorite. There is a new side mission where you have to deal with the parasites by cleaning the very dangerous materials. And randomly there will be a new event in which you have to crack a big ass meteorite and take these little hearts with you, which will give you more points to the battle pass and red coins which can be used to get cosmetics. Now season 4 is named like the Eastern European governments, critical corruption. I must say, this new update adds one of the worst and best stuff in the game. The best ones are, we have an arcade machine where you can play Jetty Boot, and they added jet boots, which basically makes the scout a bit useless, but the game more fun. And the worst thing they added are the fucking stingers. I cannot express my hate towards these creatures. They are the most hateful enemy in the game. They are armored to the teeth, and whenever they grab you with their tail by the balls, they send you flying 1,000 kilometers to your death. There is also the new event in which you have to eliminate this huge being. One thing I've left for the finale is the equipment upgrades, and by that I mean enhancing the way you destroy yourself and the enemies at the same time. Overclocks are the definition of experimentation of the capabilities of your own safety. After you get your first promotion, you'll be capable of unlocking overclocks. They can turn your simple grenade launcher into a nuclear bomb, or give you the ability to rocket jump, which I still don't have. There are 3 types of overclocks. Clean ones, which upgrade the weapons without any downsides, balanced ones, which add a feature with a minor downside, and the unbalanced ones, which break your weapon, giving it a major change on how you play it. The overclocks can be found by completing weekly challenges, doing events which are very fun besides Omen. it can jump over roof. And completing deep dives. Deep dives are like normal missions but with 3 stages with shared resources. That's all of the game. I really recommend it. You should buy it no matter what. It's one of the best co-op games that have come out yet, and the developers do care for their fan base, plus the community is great. But for some reason the game breaks my computer. It's not that heavy of a game, but it manages to destroy my PC. Once, my GPU fan fell off, and I had to reattach it. Then it kept falling. For a small amount of time, my GPU was intact. But it fell again, and I had to rely on gravity for my GPU fan not to fall. I turned my PC on its side, and then it fell again, and I almost fried my GPU. Then when I was away, I decided to send it to the engineers. Their feedback was, what the fuck did you do with your PC? My computer was on the brink of death. It almost got horrifically burned. Anyways, I will see you in the next video, miners. Never forget to drink one for Carol and stay rich. Farewell, my dwarven brothers.